Town of Ayer Council on Aging Board Meeting, Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 at 2 p.m. The Ayer Senior Center, 18 Pond Street, Ayer, Mass. 01432. This meeting will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with a particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for an in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may access the proceeding by joining Zoom meeting ID number 375-414-6055. I'll repeat that, 375-414-6055, or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, Assistant Town Manager, atm@ayer.ma.us, or at 978-772-8220, extension 100 prior to the meeting. The meeting will come to order at 2:11. All right. Do I hear take approval or conversation on the agenda for today's meeting?
I move that we approve the agenda as submitted.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Previous minutes, Dennis, we don't have minutes for last minute.
I don't have September's, and actually the space for where September's agenda was posted, I'm just looking at the Board of Directors page now from the Airtown website.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
See August.
Mm-hmm. Why is September missing?
What's the issue?
So they're missing, so on our COA Board of Directors, the agenda and everything is missing for September.
Yeah,
August to October.
yeah, I do not have the September minutes.
All right, so that's fine.
So check in with the clerk, and I know that the absence of an IT director is being felt at town hall, so that might have just been an oversight. It was the IT director who was doing some of that. The town clerk is covering that now.
But I must say, and you, Ms. Petrossi, would be, I mean, the relative completeness of that middle column there.
Look at that.
Just
Compliant.
So do you want me to follow up with the town clerk's office and ask about September, or should we just let that?
no, you'll
The
have
clerk
to,
should follow up and see,
yeah, because you want to ensure that the agenda at least was posted prior to the meeting in order for the meeting to be beneficial.
And it was.
No, sure, yeah.
My guess is that there was some sort of editing that went on, and they're in the process of moving from one website platform over to the other, and there are some known issues happening with that right now. So, happens all the time. So I think that's probably the issue, but if we followed up with the town clerk, she would.
Yeah, because I got back the response on that one from September 2nd.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So. All right, so we'll follow up with that. Thank you, Dennis. Any public input? Hearing none, we'll move right on to the next thing. Director's report, and I know Katie is postponing.
I'm postponing that. I don't have it done. Apologies, I was hoping to get it done this morning, but my flight was delayed getting in, so. All right, a few fewer office hours this morning than I was expecting.
And for the direct, I know we talked about this, but I forget how we resolved it. In lieu of having me, the clerk, include the director's a summary of the director's report, is it tired as a separate entity or a link to it?
Yeah.
That's what we were doing.
It is,
Yeah.
okay.
Because it's actually
Yeah.
part of the meeting package, if you will.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anything that we're looking at together should be included in the packet along with the agenda. And so typically that involves a posting of the agenda and then circling back around and sending supporting documents at some other time for the meeting.
so that includes even all of the,
I was doing what we were doing on this.
So,
You could go two ways with that. The first would be, yes, you should attach the specific
Yeah.
chapter or the section each time, standard.
yeah,
Or you could, in the agenda item, you could put, refer to documentation posted on whatever date we initially posted. Because when we first started, we did post this, but that was many,
Okay.
many months ago, right?
But you always told me to include it
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
when I was doing the agenda.
Yeah, it should, any documents that we're looking at.
Okay.
So if we know, sometimes you don't know what standard, like if we'll make it through one or we'll make it
Correct.
through two, right? So I think you could do it either way and it would be compliant. I think if we had lots of the public joining us, you'd wanna post the anticipated standards each time.
I guess I'm thinking more along the lines of the completed ones. So whatever we complete, those go as part of the meeting minutes.
I don't think they need to because we did post them.
But
No, oh.
I think as long as so I don't, I'm not sure. I think if you wanted to be the most complete, sure, but I consider each of our completed modules to just be kind of a working document until it's completed. So, and I think you could justify it either way. And again,
okay,
I think you could put it in, but if the document isn't done, I guess it could be a working draft that builds or something. I don't know, I just think
And again, when Matt, then after the meeting,
Mhm.
what we did,
Yeah,
if we did more than we planned.
yeah, so I think that works.
So I don't know what you want to do now if we work longer.
Yeah, so I think the idea is if we're reviewing something in the meeting that someone who's attending in person or via Zoom can follow along, right? And I've tried to pull up
yeah, the
those
document.
as we've gone, so that's been helpful. And then to be able to post them
Mhm.
separately.
Yeah, and what Max did with them, but we did post everything in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ready whenever we are ready for that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so that conversation, we'll get them all posted then.
Yep.
And if we can finish this document, we'll get that posted up there too.
Great.
All right, so let's go with, standard 3.
That was good.
Yeah, we've been trying to get back to it for
Oh,
a
yeah.
while, so.
Yeah.
And we do have a hard stop today at 3:45,
Yeah.
so.
Yes, yeah.
So which of these are true for senior centers? And these are clarifying questions. It is a 501(c)(3) organization, and that's a no, because we're municipal, correct?
The town is though, like the town functions, like we are a tax exempt organization.
We're not necessarily a nonprofit. We're municipal, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we are not for profit.
No, and
Right,
I get that, but. So, maybe a clarifying note on the bottom of what it is exactly that we are.
So I guess, and they point out that it's a clarifying question.
Yep.
Clearly, they understand the nuances.
Of different things, and
Yeah.
because I would think that goes to different standards.
Yeah.
This is not the right document. Hang on just a second. Let me stop the share and get to the right document before we go any further. Oh, no. Okay.
Mhm.
The way this was in two separate documents. Um, Two. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
All right, so now we're on there. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
It has a governing board that sets policy.
Oh,
No. There is a charitable arm that solicits, raises, and disperses funds.
yes.
No.
It's not a charitable arm, but there is a friends group. But it,
Right, so, note about Friends Group. Yeah. There is an entity that ensures the senior center lives up to the obligation to its donors, participants, and the community.
Yes,
What is it?
us, I'm assuming.
No, I don't think so. I think they're looking for a separate
Yeah, I
entity,
don't think
Right.
so.
but we're not a separate entity.
We're
Yes, we are. We're the Council on Aging Board, we're not, we also have policies for the senior center, we don't.
But we're not an entity.
We don't live up to the donors.
You know, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so I would
so.
say that I would say this is a question that is not super applicable, but that the COA board acts as an advocate for aging in the community. So,
Yeah,
but that's,
It's not worded appropriately.
yeah,
well, it's not,
If
there,
the senior center were not fulfilling, in our view, the three of us, its obligations to the community, it would be incumbent upon us to call attention to that, to the select board or the town manager or the public at large and say, senior center should be doing X and they're not, and we think they should be. I mean, that's kind of why we exist. And on the other hand, if they are in fact fulfilling their responsibilities to the community and, you know, doing what we feel is appropriate, et cetera, it's incumbent upon us to, you know, to say that, yes, you know, Katie's doing a good job in the senior center so that when the funding issues arise annually,
Well, I think you need to take the word the donors because we don't go actively as a board
yeah, I don't,
out for donors,
no, we don't, but if the Friends organization were acting,
but we're not the friends.
no, I know, but if they, separate from us, were acting in a manner contrary to the
Mhm.
needs of the senior center or yada, 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 we would be in a position to say, you know, you shouldn't, you know, the Friends should be doing fundraising, quote unquote, for the senior center. And then spending the money on, you know, whatever it is they're spending.
that
on.
would be under their entity, this,
Yeah,
No,
that would
I,
have nothing to
I-
do with.
I understand, but it would, I think it would be incumbent upon us to draw their attention and the public's attention to the fact that the Friends of the Senior Center are not spending Friends of the Senior Center money to benefit the senior center.
but
So,
the
no, we
the
make a-
senior center,
all right,
you're
so-
really spending money to better the senior center.
so I,
That's their charter or bylaws.
Right.
That's not, and we don't sit on that board,
Mhm.
No, that is,
So from
that's
that-
right, we're not telling them.
but.
Oh, okay, so I guess the question is, the word ensures.
Yeah,
Right.
We don't have, I'm not suggesting that we have authority over their spending
Right.
decisions. But I am suggesting that we as the COA board have an obligation,
to the seniors in town.
yes, and to the, yes, who,
But it gets, so it's got nothing to do with the Friends.
but if this. I would, I would not sit idly by if I felt that the Friends were misspending the money on some stuff that I didn't think was part of their,
But
obligation.
then you wouldn't necessarily, so you would do what you would do if you would do any 5013C wasn't spending the money properly. Not just the Friends.
Yes, but I think.
So that would go like to the Attorney General.
No, I would suggest to the board, the three of us in this case, that we should, take a vote to chastise the Friends, or we should, write a letter to the select board suggesting, or we should write a letter to the Friends asking to meet so that they can, revisit their spending priorities or some such
So
thing.
I think the point of question 1D
Mhm.
is there oversight to the senior center? Is there any oversight? Because to me, that's what I'm reading.
Yeah.
And I think the COA board is the oversight for aging issues in town. The town manager is the oversight for me as the director.
Yes,
The select board is the oversight for you guys, like you guys are appointed by the select board. So, I mean, it's not like I'm out here operating with no town manager that I report
Right.
back to.
No.
So I think
And as far as funds
versus like,
goes, it would be the audit function of whoever the town has.
right. So like versus in New Hampshire, they're not town government there.
Yeah.
They are 501(c)(3)s, the senior centers there. So they're a completely different structure.
Yeah.
So I think the intent behind 1D, as I'm reading it, is there some sort of oversight? And I think between the COA board and the town manager and the select board,
Yeah.
I think the answer there is yes.
Yes, it's just not as and it's not part of a larger 5013C.
No, it's not.
And it's part of a government entity.
Yeah. So I think you would really want, I don't know if their intention was that you're gonna answer yes to only one of these for part one or not, but this is a clarifying question, whatever that means.
Because we've had the discussion on that on previous one, on a
Yeah.
previous standard.
It's just all the language and that.
Yeah. Which of these are true for bodies responsible for senior center operations? There are bylaws that are reviewed regularly. I don't think these are going to apply.
So,
We have a code of ethics, but
so I think we could what if we looked at these, what if we made two sets of blanks for these and one was for the COA board and one was for the senior center? And see where we end up with that, because
What about clarifying, like a paragraph clarifying at the end, as opposed to answering the questions?
yeah, because, the COA board does have bylaws.
Yep,
I have policies and procedures,
yep,
right? And those are the correct
Yep.
words for each of the levels at which we operate. There's a code of ethics. You guys put that into yours.
yep,
I also, as part of my policies and procedures, have,
Mhm.
yep.
and there's also the state ethics code that applies
I
to
mean,
the
there's
COA board
conflict of
members.
interest too, where members of town committees can't sit on other things, so
yeah, you guys go through the conflict of interest training,
Yeah.
as do I.
Yeah.
Membership is representative of the community. It's supposed
It is
to
the
be, I
community,
think it
yeah.
is.
Mhm.
I think that I would say, I might say no, that we're not representative as a senior, so like if I'm answering that for the two, I would say I'm not exactly sure that we're representative of the community in our operations now. I think who's on the COA board is very much representative
Mhm.
of the community.
You lost me. What?
She's here,
In
Members.
2D,
representative of the.
Yeah,
when you say we are not,
2D, yeah, so I mean,
We're
there's.
alone.
Well, I mean, you're representative of the community, you are all seniors, all older adults. you have people who are users of the senior center, people who are not users of the senior center. You have people who are
But what about
active in the
you?
community.
You said you.
Right, so then I said, for me, but, I don't know that our membership, like,
In the
I don't
center
know
itself.
that the senior center itself in its staff or in its everyday users are necessarily representative of the community, right? I mean, I don't know that that's a priority for me, I mean, the staff wise, but I don't think that
Is representative of the community at large or the community of seniors?
Representative of the community, it represents or be of the aging
Yeah.
community.
Yeah,
Can you have a member of the board that's younger?
yeah, you absolutely can.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I didn't,
Yeah.
Well, we put in ours, I think you had to be,
that's what I'm asking.
I think we put something in the code of ethics that you had to be,
I don't think
was
so.
it 50?
I think we talked
55?
about it and decided we
We
didn't want.
want it, we want to be able to have it, I can't remember, I thought we had put something
I thought
in,
we had two,
but
and that,
I see.
So your point, Katie, is,
So my point is that I think you guys are the COA board's officers, your membership is representative of older adults in town.
right,
If I had to answer that question for, are the users of the senior center, the membership of the senior center representative of the community, I would say no.
because,
Because we're serving only a small portion of them and we're not,
okay,
we're
see what I'm
not,
saying?
we're not
That's-
doing caregivers.
like, and there's whole sets of subsets of older adults that we just cannot serve.
okay, all right. No, all right, now I see.
Yep.
No, I mean, that's a pretty significant thing,
And that might be something we want to, as a board, look at.
yes. No, and there's one primary way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I mean, I know I had people that would,
Members have the expertise
To
to,
accomplish the work,
the members of this,
so that would be the members of the board, and then if you took the members, if you're doing it twofold, the members of this, senior center operational staff.
yes,
I think,
I
yes.
think we're doing
Yeah.
what, yeah,
Yeah. Procedures for ethical or financial oversight, we don't have any. Yours is the audit, so I would say yes to that.
Yeah,
mhm.
Which of these are true of the senior center's governing documents? They're available to the public, yes. Reviewed every 3 years.
so again, this is where
Yeah.
this would be one thing where I would say, okay, if your governing documents, like, how do we wanna?
Okay, so
So your governing documents are on the website.
Right,
The senior center
Mhm.
currently does not have
Mhm.
its policies and procedures on the website, on our website.
And should they be?
why not? That's
yeah,
up to
I
you.
guess.
No, they're
They
on
are.
the computer when you check in one time, yeah.
So, but that's the whole point of doing this evaluation is you might say a short-term action item is that the website should be updated to include the policies and procedures, right? Like, that's the whole goal is
Yeah.
to figure out where we are, and then when all 9 of these are done, or as we're doing these, like, if you're keeping a running tally, I think that would be an excellent short-term, you
Yeah.
guys advise me, you're my advisory and advocacy board, to,
And I,
hey, get that up there.
and I think that would be a great thing to have on the website,
Yeah.
because a lot of the older seniors come in alone.
Mhm.
And I've said to you many times, they just.
Yeah.
I had one today when I was just sitting there for 40 minutes.
Mhm.
Come in, go, well, what do I do?
Right, so that's your job when all the
Right,
receptionists
and I
have
got
to
up
explain
and went
that,
around.
right? But if they're coming in for the first time, they should be getting a card from me, and so typically.
No, she had a card, she just hadn't been, she had an ID.
Oh, she had a tag, but she hadn't been here since
Right,
in over a year,
yeah,
almost 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years, actually, she hadn't been here then, because we've had those in place for
and
2 years.
I got
Okay.
up and went
All right.
around and explained the whole thing.
Sure. And there's paper copies out there.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you for doing that.
So just.
So I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
So I would
But
say
I'm-
yes
yeah,
for the COA.
I think as we
no
get-
for the senior center.
To make them available.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I was thinking of it, is there a problem with my senior center? It wouldn't let me sign in, but maybe I haven't been here. in 2
No,
years.
it was flunky on me too.
Okay.
What was it saying?
Well,
It just kept,
it said sign in, and then I gave it a badge.
and
And
it,
then it wouldn't go to the COA board meeting. I pressed volunteer and it was unresponsive.
Mhm.
oh, mine,
And then
that,
it
my
wanted my
options
picture
didn't even
again.
come up.
And then it wanted my picture again and I think we already took my picture.
I'm sorry.
I don't
I don't know, I'll look
I'm
into
just-
it. Thank you for letting me know. It's been glitching a little bit recently. I need to call, that kiosk is now 4.5 years old, so it might be time to swap it out.
Really? You've been here 4.5 years? Wow. Seems like
Not
just
quite
yesterday.
4.5. I guess no, it's 4 years old because it was
Okay.
beginning of September.
Seems like just yesterday.
So,
They're reviewed every 3 years, I'd say that's true,
oh,
right?
yes, yeah. Yeah, I need to re-review mine this winter sometime.
Yeah, we comply with all
It's been
federal,
weird.
state and local statutes, yeah. Which of these are true for the senior center's organizational chart? Indicates lines of community, first of all, do we have an organizational chart?
So we don't, and so I
Okay.
would put that in the list of tasks, hopefully not short term, hopefully within, like, my hope is that you guys will, when we complete this, there'll be 3, 4, 5 things that are short term goals, and then a list of priorities that, if we picked several of these every incremental period, we can kind of get through them
Okay,
over the course of the next year or so.
so if you go to 5, following duties are assigned to be accomplished by an entity associated with the senior center.
Well, slow down. The following duties are assigned to be by an entity associated with the employee chief.
Yeah.
Committee, yes. Meaning the senior.
So employ a chief administrative officer to manage the senior center.
Yep.
So are we saying, okay, so we understand each other, we're talking on the same page. The end talking about
It's the town government.
is
I mean,
gonna be
for
the
those-
town.
For A and B and C and D,
Hey Cheryl, how are you?
Okay.
I'm good,
I
thank you. I'm sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
I had a hard time zooming in, but I'm here.
We have trouble too.
All right, good to see everybody.
Good to
Did
see
I-
you.
Can I just ask, I got an invite for a Microsoft Teams. Are we using Zoom or was I mistaken about the Microsoft Teams format? So
Where did you get the Teams invite from?
it popped up on the email app. I went into my
oh,
anyway, I just decided I'd try Zoom and find you. So I found everybody. So I apologize for being late.
Sorry about that. No, we'll always use Zoom with that same recurring.
Okay. Okay,
Are you
perfect.
able to see the screen share, Cheryl?
Yes, I am. I am. Very good.
Our video isn't being reliable, but we are using the screen share.
Okay, great.
So I would say A, B, C, and D, you're saying too,
Well,
yes.
first of all, so we're saying the entity is, I just want to make sure we're confirming that the entity we're talking about is the town government.
well, for A, B, C, D, and E, it certainly is.
So, but the others then would be, so those would be town government, the others would be not applicable?
No, the others might be us.
Yeah,
Well, we cannot raise funds.
no, he
No,
said
but F, D, and H.
after E.
Okay,
All
so
right,
F, D,
A, B, C, and D are the town manager.
And
Yeah.
saying,
Well,
they can't raise and disperse, though, they could disperse. So that's probably not applicable.
well,
Although-
raise is
so
really.
A is the town manager,
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay? And B is me,
Yeah,
yep,
and C is me.
yeah.
D is me as well.
And the select board.
mhm.
I mean, I said, I
Yeah.
I mean, I submit my budget each year,
Right,
right?
but they adopt, the town meeting adopts it and receives the annual financial report regarding it. Right?
Okay, yeah, I mean, ultimately, yeah.
Mhm.
Raise and disperse funds, that's the town.
I think they meant disperse, but
Well, they disperse the funds to the department.
no, I know, I disperse as opposed to disperse,
Oh,
as the first.
Okay. okay. Review the senior center's mission, goals and objectives. I mean, that's pretty much me.
And does.
Ken does. I
Yeah,
agree with, yeah.
okay. All right, receive reports on accomplishments. I mean, I create them, you guys receive them.
Right, but and an annual report is, an annual report is generated to the town.
To the town manager.
And that goes, yeah, to the town clerk and the town manager. Yeah.
All right. Evaluate senior center activities and services, that's really you, right?
It's me, but I will say I don't have a formal evaluation process in place. It's, mostly anecdotal.
Okay. Do you think there should be a formal of some sort?
I'm sorry, you're on H?
On H,
Yeah.
yeah.
So during your annual review with Robert, does he look at that specifically?
I mean, he looks at what I put down as my accomplishments but I mean, that's just on me to report those.
No.
No, we're talking about the senior center activities and services.
No,
I mean,
Okay.
I have a little paragraph that I write about what my accomplishments were. But I'm not evaluated.
but
There's no,
you do,
I'm evaluated, but not on,
right,
did I do?
but you do an annual, I know for a couple of years, you've been doing an annual end of the season or beginning of the new year,
Yeah, so I'll run an annual report for the calendar year, for the fiscal
No,
year.
but you've met
for
with,
the
you've met with the
town meeting.
members, you've met with the senior center.
Oh, yeah, in the
meeting.
listening session,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you do that annually to what we've done well last year and what we'd like to do next year kind of thing?
Yeah, so that's where I was saying it's more anecdotal or qualitative.
Yes.
Than a formal evaluation, like with a set of criteria and things like that, like you would do a research-based
Yeah,
performance or evaluation, yeah.
And personnel policies and benefits and whatnot would be the town, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, that would just be the town. And yeah, that would just be the town.
So we can say that for all A through I, somebody is doing that,
Mhm.
or some entity is doing. it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which of these are ways that participants can provide input? Open door policies.
My door is open anytime somebody wants to talk. Oh, Cheryl raised her hand. Cheryl?
It's just, I'm here. I just had a thought, Katie. I don't know enough about town policies. How often do they review your salary? Is that in your contract or is it an annual performance-based increase in salary? How do,
I
and does
I
this
have-
board provide input into endorsing any increases? That's my only question. That section prompted my thoughts.
So the town typically has a 3-year contract with its department heads. And it is spelled out in the contract, the step and grade increases, and they are contingent upon a satisfactory evaluation. So evaluations have to be in.
And are you
But-
satisfied with that process? As a
Oh, yeah.
board, we need to know if you're feeling compensated appropriately.
Yeah, I'm good.
Suggestion box.
It's a big
Yeah.
job. It's a big job and we want to make sure that we keep you.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you asking about that. No, I think the process is very transparent. It's very fair. I feel a lot of support from town manager and I feel like the process is clear and fair. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so, open door policy, yes.
Suggestion box.
My door and my walls are literally always open. They do not close.
He said pointed.
And just put the
The suggestion box.
I've been out for a couple months now, yeah.
Question boards, but
Question boards, what's a
No.
question board? It's,
When you
And then-
have a board that people can just put a question.
no, we don't have that.
No.
blogs and other use of technology.
We don't have, so we don't have a blog. You can contact me off of the town website, and you can also contact me off of the Ayer Senior Center's, that temporary website, but I don't know that that's,
So we can use
No,
email.
I don't think it's sufficient.
I don't think,
No,
although I don't think of a blog as something that's
I agree.
two-way either, so.
I suppose,
But
but you-
Facebook, I mean, I've got the Facebook
Yeah.
account,
when people can post there. So there are other ones, although it's not necessarily blogs or anything else like that. Participants councils.
No.
That would be us.
I think they mean more like
like the here at housing, they have a resident council that's
Mhm.
made up of. So there's no senior center user council that advises you guys or advises me. There's not a council.
Mhm.
No, but these
And-
meetings,
No.
these monthly meetings
Mhm.
are designed to allow
No,
public input.
they mean more like a separate council, not a board, that might include a daughter or son of
Well, this. board-
somebody that
Right.
uses the center.
But
Well,
this
that
board-
wouldn't be a participant council though,
Right,
This
and
board-
that's what they're saying,
right?
a participant council.
So I think,
If,
I think we're such a small entity,
when you say we being.
the senior center is such a small entity, and because there is such an open door policy and all those other things, I haven't really felt the need, to do that, but it's an interesting idea where if, let's say we were in the new building and there was a group of users who wanted to be the advisory board for a new program coordinator, like that helps generate ideas for programs, things like that. That I think would fall like as a participant council.
I don't even
Yes,
know if
but
it's
why
like
aren't we a
that.
participant council?
No,
Well, because you guys aren't regular senior center users. I went like that.
No, I understand, but at least one of us is,
but
two of us were prior to, medical issues. The rest of us do occasionally, although not frequently, participate.
I think it's okay to answer no to questions,
I do
you know.
too.
I do too.
And I don't think they mean for that reason, I think they mean.
Did-
Like, I was a parent volunteer on a school council. I didn't have kids in the school. But it was a member of,
I think that would be the difference. I didn't mean to interrupt, but that would be
No.
the difference between school council is made up of parent and community members,
It
and
was-
so they're not participant versus
mhm,
student council is the kids electing their student government, and they are participants of the school participating on a council. Right, so think of that like student government
But there's no,
in a school.
there's nothing to,
how can you make your senior center better, and what can they do to bring an idea forward?
they can come to this meeting, or they can ask to be a member of this
Why?
But
board.
wait, first of all, I think you can,
You can't,
we've gone through this before, is we're the Council on Aging Board.
right,
Right,
We don't really oversight on the senior center.
it's
So
not
we
saying,
can
it's
have-
not suggesting oversight, it's can provide input.
but.
If we can't provide input, or if seniors in town cannot, for the purposes of providing input, come to this meeting on a monthly basis and, you know, complain about X or applaud Y or whatever, then what are we doing?
That's the key word right there. Which of these are ways that participants?
They can come
I
to
see, I
this
would
meeting.
say,
They
I
can
would,
come to this.
I would put the monthly board meeting as an other.
Right,
Yeah,
right. But
Okay, yeah.
they want participants that use the center.
you're a participant that uses the center. Bob was for quite a while. a
Right,
participant who
But
used the
we
center.
don't have a participant.
Council,
So your point is valid. They're not either or, they're both valid points. I think what you're saying falls under other. There is an avenue for people to provide input through A through E, or A through D, and
Mhm.
also via the COA board as item F. But I think the answer to E is no, we don't
Right.
currently
Right.
have its own freestanding council. Like, there could be
Okay, all right,
a lunchtime.
I concede the point.
Mhm. Mhm.
We don't need to be long-winded about it.
Right, right.
oh, you're gonna keep throwing that back in my face, aren't you, Dennis? Which of these can be
Would-
found in,
Could I just ask a
Well,
question? Would the
yeah, yeah.
Friends of the Air Senior Center be considered a council that would provide input, the Friends? I mean, they're fundraising and they're, separate but connected with that organization?
They'd be the other, I think.
they're not, I think they're looking more for here is people who, and Katie sort of has stated it, more that the active users of the senior center who may come together to form a group to say, maybe it's you have one that does arts and crafts. You might have another committee that sort of looks at trips. You might have somebody else who does the exercise. Those types of participant groups that then may turn around and provide information back to Katie and her staff on saying, hey, here's a list of trips we want to go through, or those types of things, or that type of stuff, as opposed to Katie always deciding where the trips are going.
Okay,
I think that's what they're really trying to get at. And it's not to say that we don't have the ability to take in information and choices or options or thoughts from other people. It's just they don't have that formal participant council that maybe
Right.
get together.
Yeah.
But,
okay, thanks.
which of these can be found in written form for boards or councils with fiduciary responsibility within the senior center? Qualifications. Boards or councils, that would be us,
With fiduciary responsibility
responsibility, which isn't us.
Let's see what the Friends.
So, but
within the senior center, no?
but it's not the Friends, because the Friends wouldn't be, it's within the senior center. Friends are a total separate organization.
In what it says, in what organization, in the senior
Within
center?
the senior center.
So qualifications for membership in the organization, like, there are standards of independence in the policies and procedures document.
With fiduciary responsibility, should be found for boards or councils. But it's for boards or councils within the senior center.
Right, so if you have a financial board, do you have anybody on that board that has finance experience or financial accounting experience?
See, I don't feel
That-
the relevance of answering this for the town.
I think this section is not applicable because we are a municipal. This would be more the freestanding 501(c)(3)s.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think all of these things
Mhm.
are available in town policies.
Correct.
So I think if you just said yes, but they're town policies, because in order to be a member of the COA board for 7A, you have to be a member of the town, you have to be a resident of the town. election and tenure of officers is set out by the bylaws. Officers and members' duties is in your bylaws. And I think you could go through all of those things, but they're all, like, the name and the role of the community is in the town policies by the select board. So I think yes, but this is just all town policy.
Yeah.
Right. Or not, however you wanna put it, but it's not.
Well, I think
something-
they're all, like I said, you're right, they're really all there, like we're a public meeting, so we have to have recordings of meetings. You know, quorums, we need a quorum to make sure.
Yeah.
So they're all followed underneath town policies, and that's strictly because it's a municipality and it's not a standalone entity.
But either way, none of these are gonna be things that are gonna result in, for our purposes, the action
Correct.
items,
Right.
the short and long-term action items. So I think it's a yes, and it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
a yes or non-applicable, and we move on from it, yeah.
So number 8, does the senior center have a code of ethics? Yes.
Yes.
So we have a policies and procedures, which outline standards of independence and behavioral expectations. Does it have a code of ethics that says, like, the staff swear to be nice and advocate for the seniors at all times? No.
Do the staff have to abide by, I don't know the answer to this, but does each town employee have to do the ethics training for, I won't be self-dealing with the money and I won't be.
Yep, we
You
do
know,
the same training you guys do.
So you've got a code of, so that may not be, but you also sign, sign one with the town?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna refer to the town's ethical and, disclosure stuff, then yeah, via the town. But it says it's essential for a senior center to establish a code of ethics.
But I think we're also still talking about, it goes back to that question 1. Are you a 501c3?
Okay, all right.
It's sort of what I'm taking away from some of it, because now it's also saying is you also have a conflict of interest statements.
Right, so if through the town,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, we don't have our own, but we do have it through the town.
Senior center complies with local, state, and federal by doing the following. Yeah, I mean, licenses are properly posted, staff has proper training as required, inspection and reviews are conducted.
So if I look at that, I would say that has mostly to do with the kitchen, and I would say
Yeah.
yes to all of those. I don't currently have a licensed social worker on staff, so it applies mostly to the kitchen, and so I
Yeah.
would say yes for all those.
I would also imagine occupancy permits and maximum number of people that can be in would probably also have to be, you had an elevator. Yeah, it's not, yeah,
The
So the
occupancy
housing
is not
authority-
posted any place in this building.
The house.
but it might be up in housing, 'cause you don't own the building.
Fire
either.
alarms, fire extinguishers.
Yeah,
And that's the housing authority doing that?
yeah.
So I think that would be either town or housing. Which of the following does the senior center have procedures for? Informing family when a participant shows mental or physical changes?
Oh, sorry, let me scroll on here. Yes, that's in the policies and procedures document.
Denial of services?
Yeah.
Also,
So to clarify, so if you. So the senior center can, if they see a participant who's been coming regularly over a period of time and you're starting to notice deterioration or, their increased fall risk or what have you. you have a procedure where you would inform the family that this is what you're noticing?
Yeah.
Or would confidentiality prohibit you from doing that?
So,
Or how do you?
we ask for, when people are signing up, we ask for their emergency contact information, which is in almost every setting, that family member that would be the person we would inform. And we always discuss it with the individual first, because not everybody, some people have emergency contacts that they don't have good relationships with, and so we like to take that into account, but,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Do we have a policy by which that gets updated?
It's in the policies and procedures document.
Okay.
It is, so it starts with the and I don't have it right in front of me, but
Yeah.
it starts with the standards of independence. And then the expectations, like the rules for participation. And then it says that if there is a conflict with those, then there's first a conversation with me. Second, there is a conversation with the participant, me, the family, and the potential for a cooling off period
Okay.
for a certain period of time. And that gives me and then the third time is the same thing, but with a longer cooling off period. So by cooling off period, I mean a time during which you won't participate in senior center programs. And so
I guess
that,
from that perspective, would be more like updating that emergency contact person. You know,
right,
Yeah.
so like, for example,
I'm thinking husband and wife, and one passes
Could be-
away.
could be,
making sure
yeah,
we get,
right,
Yeah.
yep. So, in some cases, that's like, if that's you're not following the rules,
yeah,
then that's a conversation between me and the older adult.
yeah,
But if it's, mental or physical changes, then that's gonna be first, hey, I've noticed this.
yeah,
Thing, conversation between me and the older adult. And then when it is appropriate, the family member can become involved in that. The best example of that is, like, let's say there's a shopping trip.
Mhm.
And it doesn't go well due to a change in cognitive or physical status.
Yep.
I discuss it with them. How do you think that went? I noticed
Yep.
that was a little bit problematic. And then, work it out with them. And then there may, depending on the situation, it's very situation specific, right? Then there may be an additional reach out to say,
Okay.
to inform a family member, because if they have been depending on our services and it's no longer safe or appropriate, then I like to involve the family member as well, so they can understand
Okay.
what the change is.
Then we have one for denial of service. You pretty much covered that.
Yeah, it kind of falls all under the same thing, yeah.
Advertising or sale of products.
So it's not written, because what I have right now is a policies and procedures document that older adults are signing, versus a non-written policy that is, if you're gonna come in and you are a realtor, you can talk about how to downsize a home, right? You can talk about using Google Lens or various different entities, but you can't sit there and plug your own real estate services or, the antique roadshowy kind of people.
Yeah.
And I have people that reach out to that and don't want to adhere to that policy, and so we don't book them. And then I have some people who are, willing to do it, and then they do it successfully or they do it not successfully, and then that informs whether or not they come back again.
What about, not necessarily external people, but internal, participants in the senior center, sort of doing those sales or advertising and different types of things?
I've never really had anybody trying to
Thinking about.
their macrame on other people or anything like that.
I was thinking more,
haven't had it,
I was
but,
thinking more along the lines of the old Avon or Mary Kay or
Yeah.
that type of stuff, but it could have been anything really,
right.
just sort of, so you haven't run across it, so it's really hasn't been, in-
Sit internally, but
Okay.
I probably. And we just don't have a lot of space here, but maybe in the new center, if that became a thing.
Okay.
We would develop a policy for
Just
that.
like-
So there are no Tupperware parties and that kind of stuff?
No, nobody's asking to throw a Tupperware party, so.
Yeah.
So could be a good idea.
No, you've got a couple of craft, people that do crafts have been to craft classes. But they're not doing it
to sell it.
to sell
the
it.
stuff, yeah.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
no, I don't think that's been a problem.
I don't really think it's been an issue, no.
I just,
But if someone came in and said to me, could I set up a table, a booth, I would say there just isn't space.
Right,
Yeah,
no,
Like,
I
it
don't
would
see
have
that.
nothing really to do with a sales policy, it would have to do just, there's not enough space, but
Yeah.
yeah.
right,
So I think, yeah, that's a,
So no, it's not written,
No.
but it is,
Yeah, okay.
something that.
Yeah.
Yep, that I am going by, at least for
Yeah.
external folks.
political activity on or off site,
So the town has a policy for that.
right,
And the sort of broader culture of the senior centers as well is that if you allow one, you have to allow them all.
yeah.
And that seems to work.
All right. So we're moving on to 4,
yeah,
which is administration and human resources. A lot of this is going to be, is this mostly the town?
I think a lot of this is self-explanatory, yeah.
I know.
Well,
Do you-
but I mean, if I look at this, the senior center chief administrator, that's me.
That's you.
Has an education degree or classes that are appropriate for the job description, yes.
Yeah.
Because they're less so now, but let's say 10 years ago, there were lots of people who were doing senior center director jobs that were librarians and they just moved over from the library, or they were town hall employees and a new position opened up that paid a little bit, well, probably paid worse, it probably didn't pay better, but you know what I mean, like, it,
Or didn't necessarily have aged person or aged population experience.
correct. But in this case, yes, I do, and I do have 5
And
years
you've had
more
5 years,
experience.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have gone
Past
to
successes,
those,
yeah.
Okay. Yep, so I'm supposed to meet all 3 of these, right?
Yeah.
So to meet this National Institute of Senior Center accreditation, you can't have someone who just
Picked
moved
it up.
over from another,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay. Okay,
So,
Oops, back up.
oh, no,
no,
that was
that's
the,
it.
I just want to read the boldface.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
should
Yeah.
meet all 3.
Got it.
Yeah.
indicate to whom the following duties are assigned. Senior center overall work plan?
I mean, that's,
Yeah, it's you,
Me.
right? Assessment of community needs?
you know, we haven't done a survey, but that would fall on me.
Oh, the outreach program, or
Planning and implementation?
Designing a survey would fall on me, how it was, maybe how it was distributed would fall on the outreach coordinator, like distributing it, but deciding to do one and what would be the priorities of the questions would definitely be
Yeah.
me. Planning and implementation of services.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be me.
Yeah.
But also, you know, also Mary Ellen.
Yeah. So it's,
I do more planning, in terms of services versus programs. I
Oh.
set the tone for what we wanna be, where we wanna be focusing and how we wanna be engaging with clients, and she was doing probably 90% of that.
okay, evaluation of programs and operations, that's you?
That's me,
Resource development,
that's also me,
day-to-day operations, that's you?
that's me, and I'm gonna give Mary Ellen a lot of credit, she really fills in the gaps when I have to be out of the office, so.
So outreach backup.
Mhm.
Right. Development and nurturing of community relations, that's you. Human resource management, that's you. That's me.
And the town doesn't have a human HR department, right?
The town does not have HR. They have benefits and payroll. And then they have the assistant town manager, who is not human resources, but if there is something that you would traditionally consider to be a human resources issue, it's gonna
It flows through that off.
it's gonna flow through that office. If it is resolved with a benefits issue, then it may start with benefits and payroll, or if it's a union issue, it could go to the union.
Right, so you
But-
have limited control, I mean, I guess you as an individual department head have limited control over some of that, you know, what the union contract stipulates, what the town policies are, what the pay.
Right, but like it's my job to make sure that union conditions are met here.
I'm sorry, your job to,
To make sure that union conditions and union policies are implemented here. Like if I don't follow union policies, that's on me.
yeah,
It's also my job to do all of the staff evaluations and make sure that I'm reminding my employees to check their benefits statements, to check their payroll statements, that sort of a thing. So I'm gonna go me, benefits and payroll, union rep and town manager on 2H.
Yep.
Staff development is me. Reporting to board, community and funders, that's largely me. I mean, although if any of my staff had anything that they wanted to bring to you, they're certainly welcome to do that.
Financial and risk that town?
I mean, I manage the budget, right? So if you want to talk about it in that way, and risk management, it's also my job to keep my employees safe. But I think ultimately then that also rolls up to
But
the
also,
union and the town manager's
but I think
office.
the financial and risk management is more about are the finances solid, are
Yeah.
you over leveraged, are you taking too much financial risk by borrowing too much money, yada, yada, yada. And
Yeah,
yeah,
but I wouldn't borrow any, that
I
wouldn't
see.
be for the,
yeah, I think that's more the town and the town management.
Okay.
That's making sure that, you know,
Yeah.
money's coming in, money's going out and being
Mhm.
properly appropriated and. All right. The following are true for paid and unpaid personnel of the senior center. The number of paid and unpaid personnel is sufficient.
I think for right now, it is. I literally don't have another desk to put anybody at. And given what we're doing right now, I think we've got sufficient staff. In the new space, we will need
You
one
need
more
addition,
person,
yeah.
but yeah.
Individuals have the skills, knowledge, and information to perform the tasks.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Got a great team.
Staffing pattern defines position and relationships.
Staffing pattern?
That's what it says.
Like job description?
That means like we just went to Joanne's and bought a pattern and pulled it out. To me, that would be almost like an organizational chart of type, the staffing patterns
I
defined.
think I would take it as, do you have enough people at the right time?
I'd say, I'm gonna say yes, because that's part of my job as a manager is to make
Have
sure that I've got
coverage.
the
Yeah.
staff and. have
That's
the
how
coverage,
I
yeah.
read that.
Yeah, see, I don't, I
Because
only,
in a
what
large
throws me, it's the word define. That's the road that's throwing me off to
Uh-huh.
that
But if
pattern.
you were in a larger senior center, you would have to make sure you had.
Don't disagree, I said,
A counselor at this time.
I'm just saying.
Right,
if the
I
words
agree,
to define,
defines position.
yeah,
Well, and whether it's the staffing pattern or the job description, I would say that all of the staff understand who is in charge at any given time. Everyone is aware, obviously, that I'm the director, and
Right, yeah.
everyone and all of the staff are aware that if I am not in the building, then Mary Ellen acts as
Right,
director in
but-
my place.
You have a
So-
group of staff that will step in
Right,
and
Yeah.
cover, like the other day when you weren't here, Denise came in and Mary Ellen was doing something else.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you have a great
yeah.
coverage pattern there
Mhm.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's,
I think it's a yes.
you know,
However we're defining it, I think it's a yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Senior center uses resources in the community to help accomplish goals.
So I think from a social services perspective, yes. I think we collaborate well. I think we could always do more. I think there's always more that we could do.
mhm.
God bless you. The racial and ethnic makeup reflects the older adults in the community.
Of the staff or of the?
It doesn't, the basic thing is, are true for the paid and unpaid personnel of the senior center.
Of the staff, including volunteer staff, racial, ethnic.
Yeah.
So we're still talking staff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't think that's a true,
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true, no.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, the vast majority of older adults are women because women survive longer than men.
I
But-
kept telling it.
But in terms of, racial and ethnic makeup, no,
No.
so.
Staff shows respect and encourages personal growth of senior participants.
Yes,
Mhm. Mhm.
I'll let you guys answer that.
Mhm.
absolutely.
Mhm. A waiver on that one some days,
Okay,
so. And I'm the one that uses it.
all right. So if there's disagreement upon the board on evaluating that, I would put that as something that requires further, discussion as like a goal that comes from
Well,
that,
I think-
because the
yeah.
answer to that certainly should be yes.
Yeah.
And so if it's
Yeah.
not uniformly or unanimously yes from this board, it's something that should be followed up on.
Yeah,
All
Yeah, I
right.
don't disagree. I have always seen the respect and personal
Mhm.
growth at things that I have been at.
So what
So I
would,
would say, and I haven't seen,
what would be an example of the contrary?
I haven't seen any in the times I've been here.
well, I've always said, I think there's a select group that gets acknowledged and a select group that doesn't,
I see.
so.
Each staff person has a written job description that includes the following: position,
Mhm.
title, qualifications, essential duties, lines of communication for supervision and reporting, and salary range and benefits.
Yes, to all of those.
The senior center has a formal system of staff supervision for paid and unpaid staff that includes feedback on accomplishments. Paid staff, yeah.
Yeah,
What
What we'll
about the
do,
volunteers? And I just mentioned that because I've just seen, a ton of them down there.
do we do reviews on volunteers per se?
I don't do volunteer reviews. I try to do one volunteer like brush up training a year. Last year's was not well attended. I would say if it's more likely that there's one-on-one feedback related to a specific issue or specific interaction, more so than a system, a formal system, which is what's,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Cheryl, I'm not scrolling very well, a formal system, which is what 5 is asking for. So I would say no. Yes for the paid staff, no for the unpaid staff. Establishment of goals, yes for the paid staff.
Would you be in a position or would Or is it desirable to have a formal system for the unpaid staff?
I think it's something that could use some development because I do find, there's 4 or 5 volunteers in the kitchen. But the range of tasks that the kitchen volunteers are doing is much smaller than the receptionists. So, and we have a lot of documentation and pictorial things in the kitchen that help inform that keep it, for receptionists, I do think I would like that to be one of the longer term goals, is a more formal system, for training, providing feedback, retraining, that sort of a thing.
All right.
Because there are 9 of them, I think 9.
Wow.
So,
All right,
Mhm.
so I have a question.
mhm.
We're saying that they are unpaid volunteers, but in reality, some of them are receiving a benefit with,
Some of
tax.
them are, yes.
So doesn't that in some respect constitute payment of services?
Yep. So, but what does that?
I mean, it's not,
So they should be treated as paid staff or?
no,
There should
probably
be
not. There might be a different level in there, because if somebody is getting paid in
Tax write-off,
essence,
yeah.
getting
Yeah.
money off their taxes or whatnot to work
Yeah.
at something, that should be, maybe a
The
different
expectation
standard or
for hiring.
different
Yeah,
expectations.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, that could, that could
Because
be
I
removed.
mean, what does? And I honestly don't know how that works, but if they've signed up to come in and be the receptionist every Tuesday afternoon from whatever to whatever, and they only show up once a month,
Right.
are they getting that full benefit of?
So in terms of hours,
Is that how it works?
it's hours.
Okay.
They have to log their hours, so they would only get what they work for a
Yeah.
senior tax work-off person. But in terms of expectations for the quality of the work or something like that, I mean, I think you're making a fair point.
Do you make that distinction now or not?
I know that,
Right.
but do I have different standards for them? No, I have standards for professional behavior that I expect to be exhibited at the front desk. And each of them have their areas of strength and each of them have things that they consistently struggle with. So, that's why it's currently kind of a one-on-one interaction with those folks. But I do think, I did put out, gosh, probably 6 months ago now, a set of receptionist guidelines. It's time to freshen it up and make it new and just
Yeah.
make people read it again. But I would like to see for a longer term goal that comes of this is a more formal system, because when we go to the new center, God willing, we go to the new center, the number of volunteers we have will go from 25 to hopefully closer to 50.
Yeah.
Because we will want and need additional people in additional roles. So managing 25 people versus managing 50 without a formal structure is gonna be hard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so. Getting back to this one too, so
Yeah.
we don't have goals for unpaid staff.
Yeah.
Indications to improve, so is that yes for both paid and unpaid, because you will take?
So for my paid staff, if there are areas of concern, that is put in their annual evaluation. Like,
Yeah.
we're talking formal system.
Yep.
So so I would say anecdotally for the unpaid staff, but not,
It's not formal.
right. So when there are areas of improvement that are needed, I have that conversation about it concerns me the way this interaction happened, or I need you to remember this, that, or the other is what I need you to do here. So that is a conversation that happens, but it's not in a formal system.
So if you have somebody who is receiving senior tax dollar work-offs
Mhm.
and they aren't working out here,
Mhm.
can you say that? Can you say to?
Mhm.
And is that a conversation with that person or is it a conversation with the town? How does that work out that you say is this, I have this person, they just don't work for me here?
Right, right. So I would always try and work out something with that individual
Okay.
first, right? So the official procedure for senior tax work off is that I, as a department head, submit that an application that I would like to be a host site. And then I list out the things I have that people could do.
Okay,
And then an interested older adult would submit their application. And then technically benefits and payroll in collaboration with the assessor's office is supposed to play matchmaker. I don't always do it that way, because I don't always think that's always the best way. I am more likely to have older adults approach me directly and say that they would like to participate here at the senior center, in which case I just turn in their paperwork for them and let benefits and payroll know that I would like them assigned here.
And
You've
You've never gotten pushback.
I've never gotten pushback on that, because I think there's still space in that program. There's still that allotment of abatement or whatever it is that we're not using all of it. And I think that as a person with training, working with older adults, I'm in a unique position to both want that and to see the value of it and to find ways
to have them do.
do things of value. I think it's harder for other department heads in some circumstances to integrate.
They're looking for more like that intern type of deal.
Right, and just an intern, an intern, as you would expect a young person to be an intern, isn't typically how, and that's a good
Yeah.
label for it. That's not typically going to be successful.
Yeah.
So, all right, so ways to acquire skills.
And review of job description, yes, for paid staff, and for unpaid staff, it's probably more informally.
Informal, yeah.
Okay,
How much longer on for here?
we got a few.
Mhm.
We got 20 minutes to finish the
Yeah.
whole section, Dennis, so.
Yeah. We're good.
Because we got that hard stop at 3:45. I'd like to get 2 done today.
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Performance evaluations include written evaluation based on objectives and job-related criteria.
Yes,
Yeah. Review evaluation in a face-to-face meeting.
yes,
Opportunity for written dissent to be part of the personnel record.
correct, yes.
That has to be,
Personnel policies are available to staff and include the following: terms of hiring and training periods.
Yeah, this is all of my employees are union,
Okay,
and so I would say, I'm just quickly reading.
so union in town.
if they're union.
These
that
are
has to
all, yes,
Yeah.
through the town.
Okay. It is recommended, that's fine, I got those. Employees' records contain, that's all gotta be application, resume, job description, letter, record of compensation, annual performance accommodations. You don't keep any of that.
I keep all of that.
You keep all of that, it doesn't
I-
go anywhere?
I keep
You keep
I
copies?
create all of those things. Actually, let me just say, the application for employment comes through the town manager's office
Yeah.
first, as does the resume.
Mhm.
The job description is created by me, and posted, cleared through the union and posted with the and then the letter of employment is generated by me. I fire. I submit it to the town manager. Record of compensation, promotion and salary adjustments. So I recommend the compensation, where they would start at.
And where is their official employee record kept?
So there is a personnel file at town hall that is
And it's-
populated largely by things received by me.
And it's an electronic record or it's hard copies?
Well, there's hard copies and, I mean, it arrives.
No, I'm just wondering that if is there adequate I mean, this is typically what a human resources
gotta be,
department would do.
Right.
So things that have to do with compensation, promotion and salary adjustments. The evaluations come from me.
Yeah.
The rate change is a form that happens in the payroll office. And then the treasurer cuts the checks. I mean, but everybody's got a piece in that. But the performance evaluations come from me, commendations come from me, disciplinary actions come from me, and correspondence. I mean, that could come from the employee or me or wherever, but yeah.
That could come from.
So all the
anybody.
disciplinary and all that stays with the head of the department, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying
starts with
there's
her.
no one in town hall that is disciplining my employees. So
Yeah, right.
disciplinary actions are created by me and then are submitted in copy
Okay,
to
Yep.
town hall for the town hall
Mhm.
personnel file.
Mhm.
But I maintain those
Those
things for
copies.
each of my
Yep.
employees here
Yep.
on site.
Just more out of curiosity.
Yeah.
I wanna, finish up the other three questions
Okay.
is that performance evaluation, is it a paper form or is it an electronic form?
It's a poorly functioning online form.
Okay. So it
It's
isn't, so, but it's basically like a Word doc that they write and they fill out. It's not an electronic one that goes. Like it's not done by like,
Mhm.
one of the benefit companies or payroll companies?
No, it's like a Google sheet and
Oh,
you
okay.
put the X's in the appropriate boxes and sometimes the form malfunctions and
Yeah.
the X's don't go in the appropriate box, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's the annual evaluation form
Mhm.
is like the last page of the union contract,
Okay,
but it is a fillable form.
I wasn't sure if it was one of the ones that does like, what is, whatever the payroll, Harper's, somebody else.
No,
like that
no,
has
I mean,
that online.
we have Harper's payroll, but not for
That
the
doesn't-
evaluations, yeah.
The senior center engages unpaid staff in skilled positions that expand the capacity of the center to carry out its mission.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, we could not do nearly what we do without the assistance of the volunteers, whether it's the receptionists, the kitchen volunteers. I have someone who swaps out the centerpieces on the table to make sure
Yeah.
that they're seasonal. Am I forgetting anybody? At one point, we had a card writer for when people were sick or whatever, and birthday cards. We don't have anyone in that role right now.
We all try to just
Yeah.
cover it.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
could not do everything without them.
We have a volunteer manual?
Nope, that is, I do have a volunteer application. I do have a mission. I mean, the volunteer manual doesn't, because there's no manual, the answer is no.
Yeah.
But as a caveat, I do have a volunteer application.
Give a mission statement.
I mean, we have a mission statement, yes, but it's not presented to the volunteers as part of the manual.
They get it?
No, I mean, because there
Okay.
is no manual, right?
Okay.
So the pieces of it, I'll go through the pieces of this that exist, but there is no formal manual. So an orientation information about the senior center, I mean, we train everybody, we don't
Yeah.
pop them in, but it's not written, right?
Yeah, okay.
So, opportunities for sharing skills. No, when I've done the retrainings, sometimes I leave opportunity for them to talk amongst themselves. How are you handling this or that? But there's not,
It's not that formalization.
it's not formal.
Okay.
Communication channels, grievance and disciplinary actions. With the volunteers, I have followed kind of the same model for participants. Like I have an open door policy. If we have a concern, first, you're gonna talk to me about it. Second, you're gonna talk to me and there's going to be some sort of consequence in terms of how you're doing your role, right?
Mhm.
And I really, it hasn't been an issue for the most part. Usually a conversation with someone clears up either what
Okay.
was a simple misunderstanding or just a lack of self-awareness, so. Protection from discrimination. I mean, I don't have, there's no
You haven't had.
There's no
DNC.
manual and it hasn't really come up, so I'm gonna say no,
Okay,
but, not that I would actively ever have that be my goal, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, absolutely. Process of evaluation for appropriate placement and job satisfaction.
So on the volunteer application, I do ask people, here's a list of things I'm looking for, circle things that you might be interested in doing. And then there's a line for like, tell me about your skills or interests that you think might be of value to the senior center. So,
So kinda,
so in terms of placement, yes. But ongoing evaluation of that, no.
that's, we talked about that. All right. So if somebody was unhappy, they'd come to you and say, I'm unhappy.
Right, and I have,
Or
I
I
have,
really,
I have had that happen, where someone has volunteered in a particular role and then they've said, this is stressful to me, or this doesn't really suit me. Is there something else I could do? And that's particularly related to senior tax work off. So I have moved volunteers around into different roles.
Okay.
That, yeah.
confidentiality statement.
So they don't sign
Sign.
anything, but I am very explicit in my training that what you hear, see at the front desk stays at the front desk because.
Would a written formal confidentiality statement be appropriate?
I don't think
Yes.
it would make a difference to anybody because I think we all know that. I do anyway.
Right.
I'm like,
So I think anytime you formalize something, it brings it to the top of people's mind, and then it creates a documentation that when you're having that conversation later, you can say, look, you agreed to this.
Yep.
And that is why you and I are having this conversation right now. And so that provides a level of accountability. So I do think creating a volunteer manual and
I think it's a good idea.
a formal system for volunteer training. This is all
Yeah.
related to item number 5. I do
Yeah.
think that should be a goal.
Yeah, and I think having them sign off on some of those things, you're right, it does make that, brings it a little bit more forefront to mind, especially in the confidentiality and those types of things. I personally like to see it annually,
Yeah.
because there is that, you forget,
Yeah.
you know, or you get involved in a conversation sometimes,
Mhm.
and it goes a little further than maybe some people want to go, oh,
Right.
where did you hear that? You know, those
Right.
types of things.
Right. Yep.
And it's just that, remember that happens to everybody.
And I see that frequently with someone sitting at the front desk who's taking a ride appointment, for example.
Yeah.
To a physician that is a particular kind of specialist. The fact that you know that that person is seeing that kind of a specialist is confidential information.
Absolutely.
That's not something you can't go around saying, oh, so-and-so seeing an oncologist, you know, that's.
Or it comes up in conversation, you know, that, oh, well, they're going to see Dr. Jones, whatever, you
Right,
know,
right.
and so it is that reminder and that
Mhm.
more constant reminder, I find that. Which of these techniques or strategies are used?
We didn't do I. Yes, there's a recognition
Oh.
of contributions.
yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I try to be thankful and grateful on an everyday basis with
Yeah.
people, but we also do the April volunteer appreciation luncheon.
I think I had hardly marked that as yes, because I know when you acknowledge them in your newsletter,
Yeah,
to
that's
everything's
what I
up.
took it as.
yeah,
Your news.
so it's definitely acknowledgement.
Mhm.
But I apologize, yes, I should have waited. Which of these techniques or strategies are used by the senior center when involving unpaid staff and helping the center meet its goals?
Job sculpting, would that mean like,
Change the job. to
Changing the
fit
job.
skills of the
Modify
volunteer.
it.
right?
Yeah,
Cheryl, go ahead, what were you gonna say?
I'm just assuming that means modifying the job if someone's having difficulty and changing it, like Dennis just said.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think we do that to the extent possible. you know, when we have busy days here, if I have a receptionist that I know has, you know, some hearing issues, we move them back into my office to answer the phone. If somebody is having more mobility issues, then, you know, I encourage them to use the intercom rather than walking back to tell me something. So yeah. Okay,
All right. I know you do flexible scheduling.
yes, we have a system for when people can't make their time slot. You know,
Yeah, you have backup.
I'm just looking at the,
Self-directed teams, no.
I'm gonna say no.
Space provided,
I mean, they have the kitchen or they have their front desk space, yeah. And I try to recognize people, like try to say thank you every day, and then again, they have the luncheon
Would you-
and.
would you say that the space provided for unpaid staff is the space adequate?
doesn't ask that question, Dennis.
Well, it says, I mean, I think it's implicit in the.
It is, but there is a space provided for them to work.
There is, I mean, I think a lot of the
Well, it could-
receptionists would like a less noisy space, yes.
Yeah.
But they do have the best space I can give them right now. Let's see, reimbursement of expenses, I don't have a lot of that. But like my movie volunteers would buy snacks and I
Yeah.
would reimburse them. Same thing with the person who does the centerpieces. If they submit expenses, then I
I always forget for the board.
Is there anything else?
I know, I just never remember.
Anything else anybody can think of underneath that one? Nope.
No,
All right.
good.
Cheryl, do you have anything for us?
Nope, I think that looks fine, what we discussed.
Okay. So that being said, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Cheryl?
aye.
All right. So 5 minutes early. Yay.
thank you.
Good job, everyone.